love that never ends. Episode 9, Shattered Dream.
I woke to the sterile hum of machines and the suffocating scent of antiseptic. My body felt like it had been through a war, heavy, broken. Slowly, I blinked my eyes open and the bright white ceiling of the hospital room came into view. My head throbbed as flashes of that night resurfaced. Leo, the fall, the blood, the baby. Panic shot through me like lightning.
Miss Morgan's reality was harsh and unforgiving, the memories vivid and cruel.
My hand instinctively flew to my stomach, but something was wrong. It felt empty, hollow. A wave of dread washed over me and I felt my chest tighten. Kai? My voice was barely a whisper, cracked and raw.
The moment of realization was like an avalanche, overwhelming and inescapable.
From beside the bed, Kai stirred.
He had been dozing in a chair, his face etched with exhaustion. When he heard my voice, his eyes flew open, filled with both relief and sorrow.
"You're awake."
He said softly, but his tone was different, heavy with something unspeakable. I looked into his eyes and I knew. I didn't need to ask, but I had to hear it.
The baby?
Kai's face fell, his lips trembling as he shook his head.
"I'm so sorry. You lost the baby."
The words shattered me. It felt as though the air had been sucked out of the room, leaving nothing but an overwhelming emptiness. Tears filled my eyes, blurring everything around me as the reality sank in. My baby was gone. The little life I had clung to, the one thing that gave me hope, was gone. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. The weight of the loss pressed down on me, suffocating me. Kai's hand found mine and he squeezed it gently, but there were no words that could soothe the pain.
I can't believe this is happening. It's all gone.
Kai's eyes were red with unshed tears and he held my hand tighter.
"You're still here. You're still alive, and I'm here with you."
But his words did little to calm the storm raging inside me. The grief was too raw, too overwhelming. I had lost my child, and no matter how hard Kai tried, nothing could fill that void. The door opened and a doctor stepped in, her expression somber. She approached the bed, her movements gentle, as though afraid I might break apart at any moment.
"Miss Morgan, I'm so sorry for your loss. The fall caused severe trauma and we couldn't save the baby. But you're stable now, and we're going to take good care of you."
I nodded numbly, my mind struggling to process her words. It all felt so unreal, like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I wanted to scream, to rage against the universe for taking my baby from me, but I had no strength left. All I could do was lie there, broken and hollow. After the doctor left, Kai stayed by my side, holding my hand as the silence stretched on. The weight of the loss hung between us, and I could feel his grief too. But it wasn't just about the baby. It was about everything that had led to this moment. Leo, the abuse, the lies, and now the ultimate price.
Kai, I can't go back. I can't face him again.
"You won't. I won't let him hurt you again. I'll make sure of that."
Tears streamed down my face as I thought of all the what-ifs, the moments that could have been different if I had just left earlier. If I had never gone back to Leo, if I had protected my baby. But it was too late for regrets now. The damage had been done, and I was left with nothing but the ashes of a life I had desperately tried to salvage. The pain I will never forget is that I lost my child trying to make her father stay responsible.
A week had passed since I left the hospital, but the pain of losing the baby still haunted me. One morning, a furious knock shattered my fragile peace. I opened the door to find Leo, his face twisted with anger.
"Kai, where's that coward? I know he's the reason you lost the baby."
Before I could respond, Leo shoved past me and confronted Kai.
"How dare you take my woman to the hospital and have my baby aborted?"
What? How dare you accuse him when he saved my life while you were off with someone else?
Leo ignored me, his eyes locked on Kai.
"You'll pay for this. I'll have you locked up."
"Leo, leave before I lose my temper."
Leo glared at him.
"I'm taking this to court. You'll rot in prison."
True to his word, Leo filed a lawsuit, accusing Kai of coercing me into an abortion. It was all lies, but we prepared for the trial, gathering evidence to prove Kai's innocence. In court, Leo's lawyer painted Kai as the villain, but we were ready.
My lawyer presented hospital records showing that I had been admitted after falling, not for an abortion.
The medical staff confirmed that Kai had rushed me to the hospital, and a nurse testified that I had told them Leo pushed me during an argument.
Yes, Ms. Morgan clearly stated that Leo had pushed her during an argument.
When Kai took the stand, he calmly recounted how he had found me injured and rushed me to the hospital.
I found her injured and I knew I had to get her to the hospital immediately.
His sincerity was undeniable. Leo's attempt to twist the narrative fell flat. With the evidence against him, even his lawyer seemed defeated. The judge reviewed the facts and ruled in our favor.
Mr. Leo, I find you guilty of domestic abuse and reckless endangerment, which resulted in the loss of the unborn child. You're sentenced to 6 years in prison with a restraining order against Miss Morgan and Mr. Kai.
As Leo was taken away, Kai smiled at me.
You were amazing in there.
We won.
Leo could have walked away, but he chose to fight.
Maybe he was pained that he lost you, but it's too late for him.
Maybe. People often realize the value of what they have only when it's gone.
Kai gently took my hand.
I'm sorry for everything. If you give me another chance, I won't let you down.
I looked into his eyes and knew, despite all the pain, I still loved him. We kissed, and in that moment, the spark that had always been there reignited. To be continued.